ministers to be holding in Cameroon?
3 times or 4.
Why?
Every term, just
That's
like
quarterly.
the National Assembly is 3 times at least. It can be 3 times, for example.
What difference would it make?
The difference would be that there will be that collegiality, because I want to stay. Mr. Biya lay more emphasis on the spirit of collegiality and hard work. That is what is prescribed to this new mandate. And so that spirit will be reinforced if they meet so often. I want to point out that Dion Gute, Doctor and Chief, no matter how goodwill he is to coordinate his cabinet, it will not be easy for him, because there are people there that are spies, and they report directly to Mr. Biya on phone call or on visit, and so it will not be easy to regulate such people. And so it was necessary, since he is the guarantor of everything, he is the chief of armed forces and so on, he should meet with them at least 3 times. That is my prescription.
Okay, Ernest.
I just boil down by saying
Briefly.
that I'm a member of a political party. Kamto says he will meet even 6 times a year. So for me, we are praying that he should finally take over so that we can have real democracy.
Ernest, President Provia said a new mandate is that of great opportunities. What is your take on that?
My take on that is to reflect the 2035 emergence program that was announced, I think, far back in 2004, 2007 elections. And if we can reflect on that, because that was when the agenda of 2035 was announced, if we can reflect on that and see how far we've gone and what the achievements are on the table, then we can be able to say something will come out from what has been always going on now. So when we look at maybe 10 years down the line, 12 years, 14 years down the line, out of that is 50% of the time allocated has been consumed, but no foundation has been put in place for the 2035 vision. So if you are asking me what I think that if the foundation is not yet there, then there is no wall to be constructed.
Thank you very much. We take a little break. When we come back, we take our second topic for this day. You're welcome to Newsroom, a political debate program on Canal 2 English. We bring to you the news, the opinions, and the debates in things happening in Cameroon and beyond. Every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Every broadcast on Sunday from midday to 1:30 p.m. Thank you for watching.
And so, as I said earlier, I am coming from the ground where the actions are always there, covering one-on-one, always in crossfire. And so, myself, I'm not safe. The military.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We start our second topic for this day. We are talking about the International Criminal Court, the ICC, the case of Laurent Gbagbo, former president of Ivory Coast, and his former youth minister, Charles Ble Goude. Ivory Coast, former president Laurent Gbagbo and Charles Ble Goude. This week there was several announcements about their case being acquitted at the International Criminal Court, but that the celebration did not go for long as the prosecutors have once again appealed the case of Laurent Gbagbo. Barrister, thank God you are here. What actually is happening now at the level of the International Criminal Court as far as the case of Laurent Gbagbo and Charles Ble Goude is concerned?
President Laurent Gbagbo and his minister Ble Goude were accused of crime against humanity and were charged in front of the International Criminal Court following the Statute of Rome. During the course, I happened to have been following the case meticulously. The prosecution or the accusation failed to prove his case by lack of evidence, and because of that, Gbagbo and his minister Ble Goude were discharged and acquitted. Ordinarily, they were supposed to be liberated, but what happened? As the prosecution were not satisfied with the verdict, they applied to the appellate jurisdiction of the ICC to suspend the liberation of Gbagbo and his minister. So you see, they said, pending our thoughts of filing an appeal, suspend the liberation of Gbagbo and his minister for us to see if we'll file an appeal or not. So we should understand that. I don't want to, I don't like quoting cases and all those things on TV. We should understand that the ICC is very, very much politicized, because we know that when it comes to court-going issues, the principle is freedom, and the detention of somebody is an exception. But we're not having a situation whereby an exception is becoming the rule, in the sense that somebody will be discharged and acquitted, but the prosecutor who couldn't prove his case in court decided that you should block that person in jail till she decides, because the person is a lady, yes, till she decides to file an appeal.
Fatou Bensouda.
To me, though that is provided for by the Statutes of Rome, section 81 and 83, to me, I feel very much ashamed as a lawyer that this can happen in front of the whole world and nobody is saying anything about it. You see, when once a court discharges and acquits somebody, he doesn't even need to go back to prison. But when once the state council or the prosecutor takes on herself to block the liberation of that person, it means it is no longer on grounds of law. It's no longer on grounds of fact. So there's something wrong somewhere. And that something wrong somewhere is more political than you can even think about. I am very certain those guys to accept certain conditions before leaving jail is no longer law, to be no longer the facts of the matter. I'm very certain. How can you say a former president of a country has no guarantee, is not providing enough guarantee that it can be brought to that court at any time? That is taking him for a tingomi, for nothing. There is nothing, because he is like a common criminal, which is, to me, is not normal. And I feel that this thing has to do with imperialism than has to do with justice. You see, on the internet, we realize that state prosecutor, the court's prosecutor, Madame Fatou Bensouda, is married to a Jewish Moroccan.
But those are the things we take seriously.
And yes, and
That relation.
he just had some business to do in Cote d'Ivoire worth 12 billion to build local housing. So you see, when you see those things,
Barrister, you really think
how can I be happy
uh,
that the international court, which we respect, should fall prey to the whims and caprices of individuals?
Cyril Fatou Bensouda, the chief prosecutor at the International Criminal Court, is an African. Do you think the case of Laurent Gbagbo is politically motivated there?
Of course, Dominic, but I'm a bit surprised. Permit me to step from what Barrister Ashu said. I'm sure that for once, he is worried with the case of jurisprudence. That
I didn't say that.
no, let me
Jurisprudence
because
is what?
remember that he is the very same person here who was quoting the case of Cameroon and was supporting the regime in place that at least they have been trying to appease the people of Norway and Southwest, and that the people are radicalized. This situation,
What is the link?
this situation of ICC is of President Laurent Gbagbo is a situation that has two opposite poles. There is a north pole that are for neo-colonialism, and there's another pole that is for independence. And for over 18 years that the ICC has been existing, they have not been able to actually have a client that they can say that this is somebody that was persecuted because of the findings that they have done. Laurent Gbagbo case in 2011, 2012, 2011, after the 2010 presidential election in Ivory Coast, was one of those cases that they really took very serious, because at least it was to grant them some it was to improve their image in the face of the International Court of Justice, that at least this is this is coming to bring justice in the world for presidents that are thought to be above law, that any president that is reputed for criminal cases on his own people will be sentenced at that level. So the war now is divided. There are some people who have their interest in place. Is the case of Bensouda that you were talking about, but it's also the case of France. You want to believe that Sarkozy in his days actually rise up and said that he does not want Gbagbo to be released. And so most Pan-Africanists, they are of the opinion that Gbagbo is so much loved in his neighborhood. You want to see the celebration that took place in Ivory Coast when he was released. People actually printed
when his
the
release was announced.
Sentence,
he has to be released.
The acquittal sentence was pronounced. You want to see how the people were celebrating. Then, at the same time, you understand that they are saying that they cannot release him because he's coming back to Ivory Coast. We distort the peace building process that has been initiated by
Is that
Ouattara.
the reason that have been given by the prosecutors?
That is the reason that she gave. That if he goes back, because they are having an election in 2020, and that seeing the clash that is existing between Ouattara and the Henri Konan Bédié, when you see the clash, that if Gbagbo come in now, you want to. It's in August 2018 that they released 800 prisoners who were allegedly jailed because of the post-electoral dispute in Ivory Coast, and among them was Simone Gbagbo, the wife of President Gbagbo. So all this process that have been put in place over the last 3 years in Ivory Coast was in a bid to bring peace, and now Bensouda is the chief prosecutor is saying that if they bring back Gbagbo in the country now, it's going to distort that process, and they might not have the sole awaited peace. Now, people like Guillaume Soro and other rebel leaders that were nominated in high offices in the government, there is fear that they might rebuild. The coming of Gbagbo is going to raise a lot of crowd, and that is the fear that I can see.
Time for Elvis, the judges mentioned that they didn't find enough evidence against Laurent Gbagbo. We saw widespread celebration in Ivory Coast, but a group of people equally protested, saying that they are victims of the atrocities that Gbagbo and his main cause after the post-2010 presidential elections. The fact that the judges did not see concrete evidence to sentence Gbagbo doesn't mean he's really innocent of the over 3,000 deaths caused during the post-election violence.
Well, it's a complex issue in DRC. In Ivory Coast. It's a very complex issue because when court tells you that he cannot, or probably the prosecutor tells you that they are not able to get evidence, concrete evidence supporting him to be to go in for the accusations leveled against him, and then he's released. I think generally, let me just analyze in general terms. Now, the analyses are based on probability. These are what I want to place it based on international politics. Now, this is probably what is happening on the background. I repeat, this is probably what is happening on the background. Now, if we look at the developments in the Ivory Coast, we understand that for Gbagbo to be overthrown, we understand that the United Nations backed forces by France came in headed by the French forces, and it was moved from the bunker. Means that France has an interest in Ivory Coast. Just like in French-speaking Africa, as Barrister analyzed sometimes, that there are some peculiarities when it comes to French-speaking Africa. So one thing is for sure. Now, what it is politically motivated in that France has looked at stakes. France has interest in Ivory Coast. Now, France has not been very happy when the ICC decided to acquit Gbagbo of those charges. Now, what is happening? Since as it is international politics and has to do with interest is at stake, there's every indication that France must have gone through the back door to explain the stakes that are in place if Gbagbo moves back to Ivory Coast. First, because if Gbagbo moves to Ivory Coast, if it is you and I who was put in prison, the first thing is that we are because of the popularity of Gbagbo and many people sympathizing for him, he will obviously come back to babble into political scene. Secondly, if he comes into the political power, the next problem with that, since as France is the one that caused him to take 7 years in jail unjustly, as he puts it, it means that his first point would be to cut all links related to France, which will mean another economic blow on France. Therefore, being a kangaroo court that we know, it's clear that these movements must have transpired at the background. And therefore, let's look for other charges that will keep him. Even if we don't condemn him, let him stay away from the political scene in Ivory Coast so that we can continue to do our deals and our business. Because if he comes in, himself and the youth minister, Blake Godé, will do everything possible, because if they come back, the truth is that they will likely win in the next elections and it will jeopardize French interest. So that is the mafia that is taking place at the ICC, as I can analyze as of now.
Less than 3 months ago, the government of Laurent Gbagbo released government of Alassane Ouattara released Simon Gbagbo from prison. Don't you think that releasing Laurent Gbagbo will be a continuation to the reconciliation process?
Yeah, I very well think that it would have been a step forward to the development of the Ivory Coast in particular and to Africa at large, because being a continental leader dealing with more than 26 African countries, being part of them and we discuss in daily basis, I realized that the jubilation of the announcement of the release of Laurent Gbagbo was enormous, both in TVs and social media. And when you realize, what I can say in this aspect is that there is colonial interest, there is national political differences in opinion, the fear that he may come back. Because last 2 weeks, I remember one of the opposition leader in Ivory Coast said he is ready to even join together with the former president party. You understand what I mean? So already releasing him and coupled to that kind of statement posed a lot of trick to those that to other opposition parties that would have wanted to be in place. And also looking at the France interest in Africa and other colonial, they don't want Africa to be free. That is fact. The highest thing they are afraid of is this generation, our generation taking power, because they know we are not going to accept whatsoever. Anything they are doing on the background, we know. All of us here, we have analyzed and you have seen similar ideas. It means that we know what is happening on the background, and what we are after is looking at it objectively and analyzing it the way it's supposed to be.
We're a few minutes to the end of the program. Barrister, what explains the fact that Charges against Jean-Pierre Mbemba, Vice President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, were dropped by the International Criminal Court. He was released immediately. We understand that charges were equally dropped against the President of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, and the Vice President, William Ruto. Why is the case of Laurent Gbagbo and the Charles Ble Goude a little bit complicated here?
You know, first of all, to seize the International Criminal Court, it is the state party that has to complain. Individuals don't complain. And for a matter to be listed, the big five in the Security Council have to say yes. If anybody objects, it will not be listed. So you understand that that court, in as much as it deals with law, there's a lot of diplomacy and politicking involved. And if you have read the Pact of Imperialism, our black HR, to go and look for that document, Pact of Imperialism, the Western world will never allow Africa to come out of its shell. They are there to make us subservient and bend down and follow them all the time. That's why our heads of states are telling us a message that, look, you think that this thing is easy, it's not me alone, because there's much more that you can think of. And if we don't understand that and use our intelligence as Africans to fight for ourselves, like the Asians did, we are doomed to be where we are. We'll be insulting each other as we nearly did done here today. We'll be instead of looking for cohesion, we'll be looking for division. I tell you, I bet you, everybody should go and look for that document, the Pact of Imperialism that was done in New York, after the League of Nations, how the West decided to run the world. And it is great, we are seeing it. It's not that we are intelligent enough to know that, hey, this is what's actually happening. So you see Gbagbo and his guy, you might think that it is law. There's nothing law, it's not law. It's more complicated than you can think.
Barrister, if Gbagbo and Charles Ble Goude are released today, will they be compensated after 8 years of detention?
No, the person who lodged a complaint against me, I'll ask for damages. Yeah, they have a right to ask for damages. They've lost 5 years of their life for nothing. So it is terrible.
Yeah, close to 8 years.
Yes, but governments can pay. So no, there's no government which is poor enough not to pay some damages. I'm sure they will pay for it.
Thank you so much for coming, Barrister.
No,
thank you.
The pleasure was mine.
Jaffa Elvis, thank you so much for accepting our invitation this day.
Yes, and a special greetings to the people of Gunoko village, as usual, who are watching us 5 on 5. And those who are in the Northwest Southwest region, we pray God that they should be safe. Though we had some disturbing images over the Northwest and the Southwest region over the weekend, but it's God who is in control now.
God is in control. Elvis Gengafa, thank you for coming.
Yeah, I am happy to be here once again, and I appreciate the effort the media is doing to raise awareness to those that are suffering regarding these issues that are affecting our population. We pray that due to our exchange of ideas, something good will come out that can really move us forward.
Thank you, Cyril. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Dominic. My heart will stop beating the day I'll stop thinking about the people. It was a pleasure being there.
Thank you so much. We are thanking all our technicians that makes it possible for us to have a beautiful program this day. If you miss out anything, watch a rebroadcast of this program from midday to 1:30 tomorrow Sunday. I am Dominic Memenwa Kimo. Nice weekend.